Good evening. Welcome back to the Mancunian Way. My name is Martin. Who's opening cans?
Me.
You're deafening me. I know who it was because he looked very sheepish while he was doing it. I know exactly who it was.
Rich, did you get the free time at Royal Adelaide? Oh, wrong can.
No. Shame on you, Richard. Right, yeah, good evening. My name is Mine. I'm your host. Welcome back to the Mancunian Way. Hope we are all good. And yeah, we are all back together again. Dog Tanya, Three Musketeers. How are we all?
Good.
Very good.
You know, we need news like this on the regular. Otherwise, we're just going to hold the show to ransom, and only two of us will show up at any one time.
Yeah, that's right, Pat.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, just to let you all know, some sad news again today. Rest in peace to Denis Law, who has sadly passed away today. Manchester icon, City and United. He'll be remembered on the City side for one specific reason, and he'll be remembered on the United side for many other reasons as well. And yeah, the footballing world has lost another footballing great today. So rest in peace to Denis Law, and thoughts to his friends and the close family as well. So yeah, sad times, sad times. Hello to everyone within the chat. Jessica, Ander, Mingy Wong is in, Connor's in, Sean C is in the building, Scottish City Man is here, City Luke Raid, yeah, great show earlier on. There is no Omar Mamouche tonight. It's not even the team, so the deal is agreed. I know Fabrizio did put out 2 hours ago that there was another team currently in talks. Even though they're saying the deal to City's done, obviously we'll see. I won't worry about it. I think he ends up at Manchester City Football Club. We can't sign 3 more players. This is not FIFA. You know, people can be wrong, you know I am. Yes, Toxin Blue. Yo, big up chat. Smash the likes. Yes, definitely. Yeah, rest in peace to Denis Law. Thanks for all the memories. And you all know the memory. That back heel at the Swamp will be forever remembered when he relegated. Even though they were already relegated. We didn't actually relegate him. They were already virtually relegated. Yeah, but yeah, we're going to get into it. The Erling Haaland stuff, the Omar Mamouche stuff. Ushanov is in the building, done his medical. He has arrived. Victor Hayes is in Manchester. He's arrived. He's there. Yeah. Let's go into it then. So who wants to kick it off then? Who wants to kick all this off? Because I don't know where we even begin here.
Go on, Rich. He's biting at the bit.
There's football as well. No, I just think the fact Erling Haaland signs a 115-month contract is, quite funny. And, there must be some thought that goes into those things, so that they can subtly send messages to people. 2 defenders, one of whom we know is definitely Viana signing, because the Palmeiras manager's come out and said he was talking to Viana about Rice.
Do you know when you're meant to keep quiet? Some people just don't.
And he just said he talked to Viana about how good he was and what a great player he was and what a mature lad he was.
Yeah. He's on gardening leave, dickhead. Shut up.
The next thing he's bought his player.
That's another charge. Add that up.
And so obviously I think there's a bit of both. There's definitely a bit of cheeky and, a bit of someone on gardening leave going on, which is quite exciting. Definitely getting some young players into defence is brilliant. But then it's the fact we seem to be still looking for a midfielder and a fullback, as well as, potentially Mamouche and the 2 guys already coming in. So
I like the way you say potentially. You sort of just making sure now you've read that Fabrizio reviews.
Well, no. I mean, I'm talking about potentially Cambiasso, and that I think the mystery is still the midfielder, which is still apparently the number 1 target, but no one knows. No one knows. So
What was that about, Rich?
still to come. What?
What was
I'm
that
saying no one
news?
No one knows who the midfielder is. That's
It's a
our
mystery.
position, and it's a mystery.
I do.
Okay.
Same what I
There
told
we
you all
go.
2 months ago, Haaland had agreed his deal, and you all said, no, he hasn't.
ITK. Here we go.
Sorry, you know what I mean? When you know these things, you know these things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Mike, you didn't know how long the deal was, though.
Yeah, I didn't know it was 10 years. I'll give you that, as I said to you earlier. Didn't know it was 10 years. I knew he'd agreed it. I didn't know it was 10 years. That's one thing I will say. Didn't know it was 10 years. Or 115 months.
And then we have some.
Sorry, Mr. Brent.
We have some twonks on Twitter who are
Twonks
out there saying that it's a sign of weakness, that we know we've been found guilty and therefore we're trying to represent strength. And you just like.
Stop reading Magic Art. He's a magic tool. Stop reading him. He's an It's Nick Harris. He's telling you now. I've looked at it now. It's Nick Harris in disguise.
It has to be someone or a City fan.
There is no way on earth someone who's been around for 4 months does 40,000 tweets and talks in that way, and he's not in some kind of tabloid stuff. The guy's cool. It's Nick Harris.
Yeah, it could be.
And I just wish he'd be honest. You ain't going to get Bert Musiala. I very much doubt that, because I don't think McAtee's going to go. There you go.
And I think we've got some players starting to come back from injuries as well, which is definitely going to make a difference. And hopefully we're going into the new year feeling a little bit more optimistic than everyone was in December, because I'll tell you, the melts on City fan melts on the social media with some of the slagging off of the players, and it's a bit sad, really. Reading Bernardo getting slagged off, and it's like, seriously. Anyway, Aussie, Pat.
Is that to get me that right?
No, I haven't heard you go.
I think I have. I think he's been diabolical this season.
But if he said he should be out the club, have you said he should be out the club?
I think he should go at the end of his contract so we can get some money. Yes, I do.
I think he should go.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this KDB new contract situation, if I'm honest with you. I'm a bit with it.
Yeah, it's a funny one.
I'm really in between with it at the minute. Anyone been signed yet? Yes, well, Ushanov is in the building. He has done his medical. Do we know when Alan will return? Whenever we bring Alan back. It's not the Alan show, Jack. It's the Mancunian way.
And he's a bit busy at the moment.
He's a bit busy at the minute, sending very silly super chats on other channels, which doesn't do himself any good, really, because we're not that kind of channel, Jack.
Yeah. I don't think any of the City channels are.
I don't think any City channels like that, really. But hey, it's what happens when. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it. It's not the time and the place. Bit of a silly thing to do, but hey, it is what it is. Good evening, Luke. Not my lifetime podcast. What a month it's been so far. I agree. Good evening, Mike, Ozzy, Rich, and Pat, and anyone in the Blue Mank chat. Jessica is here. Dash is just replying to Ed. Could have muted yourself, mate. Just small checks, no cafe. Small checks. Sad to hear about Denis Law. Yeah, rest in peace. Definitely Denis Law. Rest in peace, Manchester icon. Definitely. Rest in peace, Denis Law. Played with City twice. Started his actual career at City. Was at City before he went to United. Cheers for the cheeky back heel. The cheeky back heel. Was a legend, a proper footballer, a proper gent. He was. Might give us some more bombers on transfers. I think Cambiasso happens, but we'll get on to that later on. Hello, Pardo Oaks. How are you, my friend? Rest in peace, Dennis. Does Haaland have a release clause? Yes, we'll go into that in a minute, but not for 5 years. Yes, Nabil, how are you, mate? We're Man City. We do what we want. 115 months for Haaland. It's crazy. Now Martin is retiring the Frankfurt statement. He's reiterating. Oh, right. Sorry. Right. I get that now. The other club was City. Right. Thank you for the clarification. So it is just I was going to say, because he is on his way over, so I don't know what other clubs got involved. DC, hello, because they've got 3 medicals booked. So, hey ho. Very good, Connor. Thank you. Well, 2 are done. I think the 3rd one will happen over the weekend. Do we know when right, mate, can you stop spamming the same comment, or in a timeout you will go? Just to let you know, mods, don't time anyone out or ban anyone until I give the thumbs up, unless they're being really idiotic. Nice to see Rich back and Patrick merged from the dark. Pat, we had people really worried about you this morning.
Okay. I mean, I was in my car, the doors were locked. I don't see what the problem was.
It's probably what you're doing in your car, Pat, that was worrying people.
Whoa, this is turning into an Alan super chat. It's Friday night, the missus are there for girls' weekend. Crack a beer, I reckon. Let's not do that, Ozzy. Do I think we'll sign Cambiasso? Yes, I do. Because Juventus are looking at alternatives as we speak. Because Cambiasso does want the move. It's not 9.5 years, it's something about what? Anyone may turn out to punish what? Wait, Martin Talks went very well, actually, cheeky little bastard. 3.1k views.
Yeah, all of us surprised.
My Martin Talks, people listen. Oi, Sunshine, do as you're told.
We don't have much to say since you cut our contracts down from full-time to part-time.
Yeah.
It's because Rich
it would be casual by the next
fiscal year. And you turn up part-time. That's bloody why.
It'll be casual by the next bloody fiscal year, don't you worry.
Once a week is part-time for you 3. Listen, you got to be on it every day like me. Come on, get the irons burning.
You realise the rest of us have jobs and lives, Martin.
Hey, listen, I do. I work on 2 hours sleep, Sunshine. Do not give me that crap. Full-time caring is the job.
I didn't say it wasn't, Martin, but full-time on this isn't a full-time show.
So
FIFA says we don't need anyone.
I've been busy fixing the runway lights, so it is. Because apparently
saving lives, Pat.
Saving lives. Roy Keane will be saving.
Yes,
I miss this for when we're together. Right, some amazing people. Freddie, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. You are a superstar, mate. Thank you so much. Tone has become a new member. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Keep an eye out. There might be a new show coming soon. Scott Farnell with the 199 super sticker. Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate that. Man City fan, I've started your. We'll come back to yours in a minute. Scottish fan has gifted not only 5, has ended another 5, so he's gifted 10 memberships. Big up yourself, mate. W's in the chat if you have received it from Scottish fans, Scottish City fan. Big up him. Say thank you, as you always do. And Mark Harris has renewed for an 11th month, which is Fandabidoza.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
So there you go. Is LB going to be live? I have no idea, mate. Martin better in pink hoodie than a black one. Hey, listen, real men wear pink. Until Maxi signs an extension, I think he'll leave. We'll get into it. Right, go on, Ozzy, then. So what do you make of the news?
Well, apart from your ITK as, it was going to happen.
I never said ITK. I'm not an ITK.
Yeah,
someone I know is an ITK. I'm not the ITK.
All right. Well, it was just a bit of a woke up this morning and wow, that was
feeling fine.
I literally, I'm not joking. When I saw the Ornstein tweet, I was like, is this a fake account? I mean, I really had to check it because I just thought that's bonkers. It can't be real. And then obviously when I actually found Ornstein's account, yeah, it was wow. So fantastic. I mean, I couldn't be happier. I think every other City fan can't be happier. I think every one of our rivals right now is having a good old cry into their hanky or pillow, whatever they've got nearest them, because this is not the news they want to hear. It really puts into perspective for us, really, with the meaning of the 115 with the length of the contract in months. It just feels a massive dig, doesn't it, really, at everyone else? It gives you more confidence. It's not just that he wants to stay for that amount of time, it's that he has such confidence in the club and the people around the club, that he feels that his future is at City. And I also think, this is, Raiola, when he signed him up as, had him as an agent, before he signed for City, he invested in Haaland. He was like, this is going to be the guy that he did the tour of Europe. He was trying to see which club would fit in the best. And Haaland seemed to kind of feel that City was going to be the best fit for him going forward. And I just think it's remarkable because his current agent, who left off from Raiola, has basically just kept on, investing in and kind of giving him the right pieces of advice. And I don't think she would have signed off on this if Haaland wasn't confident about his own choice. Because it's a hell of a long contract, really, when you think about it, for any player. And for Haaland, such the superstar that he is, that, as soon as even before he walked through the door of City, like there were already talks about him, moving to Real Madrid. And we've had that with so many of our players, our big superstars, Aguero, David Silva, Company. It's a stepping stone, Manchester City.
Pep was never going to stay more than 2 years.
Yeah, well, this is all we've ever heard from the rivals and the media, that we're not taken seriously as a club, really. And I just feel that, this contract is, it's not only saying that he wants to stay on, but it's also that City have put the investment in, because this contract takes him up to 34, and I just think 34 as a striker, as a defender, you could think, most defenders can get up to that age and they're still in their peak, but as a striker, it's rare that you get someone at that late stage that you would commit to. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's a hell of a commitment from the club to say, we have such faith in you that we feel that we can offer you this kind of contract, and we want to. I mean, there'll be added bonuses and there'll be incentives for him, I'm sure, in the contract, and it'll be reviewed and stuff like that. But it feels very much like a messy contract. Do you know what I mean? When Barca were always signing him onto these big contracts and wanted him to stay, and it feels like City have done a very similar thing for me. I don't know about everybody else, but that's how it feels. And I just think from Haaland himself, I mean, we've seen quite a few of the interviews now, and he just seems so humble. He's such a lovely guy that you just feel that he's made the decision for himself. He's committed not only himself but his family to the club and to staying in the Premier League. And he talked about Alan Shearer's records, and he wasn't saying that I'm definitely going out there to smash it. He was very much just like, it's there, and if I can achieve it and do it, brilliant. But he's just working on the next game. Do you know what I mean? He's working at very much how it works. I'm just concentrated what the next game is, Ipswich. Do you know what I mean? He's concentrated on what trophies I can win in my future. And I think I think he sees that he can win future Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, and even the Ballon d'Or, because obviously with Roger winning the Ballon d'Or with City, I think it's that level of trophy. Well, it's not a trophy, but you know what I mean. I just feel he feels that something he can achieve at City now.
No, it's interesting. It's in some ways it's a bit of a vindication for Chelsea and all their long contracts that everyone was just oh dear. Martin's head's in the gutter.
It really is.
We're all broken.
That was so hard.
It was
Your camera's laughing with you, mate.
It was your comment. It was your comment.
Who's?
Bitches. Alan was having a good time, but it's not for a family show.
Yeah, well, it's not, is it?
Not really, no. I don't. I can still count. Did he read it out? Did it get read out? Does anyone know? Did it get read out?
I don't know. I sent the screenshot to you, and then I just binned off the show.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think I want to hear. I don't think I want to hear have it heard read.
Yes, we have said we are looking at Blade, but I think that's more for summer. Looking. W Mark, what's happened? Oh, Mark Harris has gifted 5 channel memberships as well. Big up, Mark Harris. You, sir, like everyone else in here, are a legend. Thank you.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
Right, carry on. Sorry, I've got the giggles out.
Well, I think we've Pat, have you anything to add?
I don't really know what else
From
to
your
add on.
dark corner.
I pretty much said my what I had to say about Haaland when I was down the mine shaft yesterday. So, look, what can't be said? I mean, like I said, I'm enjoying the piss boiling as much as anything, and how much things have shifted in world football, where for years and years used to hear about the red cartel signing players because those players grew up watching the glory days of those teams and now rival fans can't seem to grasp around the fact that we sign players now because of 93-20, because of Centurions, because of domestic treble, and then soon to be treble and soon to be 4 in a row. And the landscape has shifted so much that they just can't handle it. And I think we're just here to just put your feet up, have a favorite drink, and put your feet up, enjoy the view, and just enjoy the piss boiling for what it is, because the meltdown has just been absolutely fantastic. I just wish there were certain fans that had shown a little bit more patience leading into this January window. And I think for those of us who have been patient, patience has been rewarded. And to think that we're only just halfway through this January transfer window, so who knows?
It's only just started, mate.
This could just get better and better.
We've not even got any players out. We've not got the main midfielders in. This is only the start of it.
Yeah,
like I said, this may still take 18 months, 2 years to get fully finished and redone.
Yep.
I do think some of it has been brought forward a little bit due to the nature of our season. I also think some of it's been brought forward because of the Club World Cup. I think they've realised we are going to spend 2 and 3 weeks away in America. I know it's a pre-season to some, but to the club it is not a pre-season. To them it's a multi-million-pound proper competition.
To be fair, Martin, I think rather than bringing transfers forward, I think it's more the catching up from what they didn't do last summer, because even though Pep has said that it was his fault that the club didn't sign anybody really in the summer apart from Savinho, I think he's just saying that because he wants to take the blame on. He takes the blame on, takes it off the players, so it's not surprising that he'll take it off the rest of the club, really. So
but he's always been one for a small squad. If he'd have demanded the players,
like the conversation we're going to have in a bit.
So he's definitely part of it.
Now he's got an headache.
Yeah, but I mean, Rich, at the end of the day, I think it's still down to the club just to turn around and go, you know what, we'll sign players that we think are going to help you, who are going to be quality players, and you work with them and you see what you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sometimes
I think
you can't just rely on the managers just to always get it right. And Pep has got it right more times out of not, but I think you still have to take some of those decisions out of his hands. Otherwise, what's the point of the rest of the management staff? Do you know what I mean? What's the rest of the backroom staff doing if it's all on Pep? Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, that's true, but it's the same the other way around. Is what's the point of having a manager if you ignore them in terms of what first team squad they want? So, I'm not saying it's only on Pep. I think Pep and Cheeky and Ferran, Khaldoon, sit down and they talk collectively about what they're going to do. And they thought that we wouldn't get the injuries we'd had. It's like the defenders. I don't think the defenders have been brought in to play 25 games between now and the end of the season, but they're being brought in because they might have to play 40 games next season and they need time to bed in, and they will need to play 10, 15 games this season to allow our existing defenders to actually get fit. Because that's what, that's been our biggest problem, is that, Rodri, obviously that was a one-off, a big injury, but it's just been the fact we keep playing all of our defenders 2 or 3, 4 weeks earlier than we should, and then they get injured again. And so we can't string the same defence together for 2 games. And what the 2 new defenders will do is they'll allow us to play them for 3 weeks, and then Stones or Diaz or Akanji, whoever, Ake, can actually get properly fit and come back and play uninjured. Because I'd love to know how many games any of our centre-backs have played this season when they were properly fit. Barely.
Well, that also goes on the blame on Pep, though, because he's forced those players to play when really.
Yeah, I mean, it's he could have trusted Pusey or someone more. But
yeah, and that's why I think us signing 2 young centre backs that really haven't got. Okay, one's got some experience in a league in Europe, but really and truly, you're still thinking these 2 defenders are coming in. They're still kids, their experience isn't everything. And you're saying what I think most of us would agree with is that they're probably not going to play that much. So then why wouldn't you look at bringing us in to help us out?
I mean, it'll be interesting.
Lie with Pep in some respects, but I think he has to take some accountability for that.
But I think we sometimes are in danger of forgetting that if you come in and you play, 18 games on the trot in the Brazilian league, that is a high standard of football. It's not maybe as high as the Premier League, but it's a high standard of football. And it's, it's a, big, it's like Echeverry's now, he's played like 50 times, not all starting over the last year in Argentina. So he's not coming in as raw as someone coming up from the academy is. 50 games in one season or in 12 months in Argentina, it is, like not quite Alvarez. It's more games than Alvarez had played in his 12 months before he came to see. So it's going to be interesting. There's quite a bit coming into the club.
Pat. Do you agree with all
that? What were we discussing? Sorry, No, I just got distracted I got distracted by a damn work message.
You know why he's distracted? He's watching Alan on OnlyFans.
Oh God!
My eyes would have been well and truly soiled.
Martin's already are. Look at him.
See, Martin's gone mute because you just put the thought in his head.
Yeah.
Good on you, Rich.
Good on you, Rich. You didn't say that, but you say that about Victor Hayes, Ozzy. I will say he has played a lot of football this season.
I'm not denying that. And you and Rich have got a point of he's played a lot of football, but it's still, I mean, it's not at the highest standard. And that's no offense to some of the South American leagues, but we still have to be honest and go, they're not at the level of the Premier League.
So what about Alvarez?
Alvarez was already, he came in at 23, 24, had already had some first-team, experiences with his international side, had already won with the Copa with Argentina at that stage. So he had a lot more experience, mine, if you really think about it.
Yeah, he's only just turned 20. He's only 24 now. Oh.
Yeah, it was 21, 22 when we bought him.
Yeah.
But look, if we're still talking about like Victor Hayes and things like that, it's just, sorry.
No, I think it's you, Ozzy. I can hear Pat. Can you hear me, Pat?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, so we're fine. We can all hear each other.
No.
Ozzy's turned his volume off, and he's going, "You're all on mute."
Yeah,
Martin's just going.
We're all functioning well here. Yeah. Can't you tell?
I can tell it's his full 4 old codgers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Now, look, if just talking about the South American players coming in, I mean, you know, Martin knows I said on previous shows that, like, you know, you're getting an 18-year-old in, which is, you know, I'm sure City will, you know, take the sweet time with this guy, but also too, being an 18-year-old, the best thing is, you know, we can mold this guy into the player that Pep wants him to be. You know, we have no idea what Pep's got in mind for this player. You know, they're talking about him being 2-footed and he can play left centre back, right centre back. You know, there's even talks about him playing across the whole front four. But then you're also hearing reports that Pep might try to mold him into the next Rodri or something like that. So again, you know, we look at the players. A lot of the players we sign, we look at them, how versatile they are. But then you've also got to factor in how versatile is Pep going to turn them into. So you've just got to wait and see what happens. But again, you know, playing a full 12 months in South America, this guy's not going to play week in, week out. He's going to be slowly bedded in. He may even be slowly bedded in, you know, in early parts of next season for all we know too. So, yeah, we've got to take sweet time with it. And I think Echeverri falls in that category too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, we only see him in bits and pieces for the rest of the season once he gets back from the
Did we not go around the
World Cup or whatever it is. Sorry?
I remember doing a show when Alvarez first signed, and I remember doing a show, and I said it was a punt, and the guy will go out on loan. I said all of this, and he came and started playing.
I said he'd play. I said he'd play.
Yeah, and he actually started playing all the damn time.
Well, he did, but then remember, he did have a bit of a. They did like barely played him off the bench for a few weeks there too.
Gabriel was thrown straight in. I'm going to be honest with you. Do you know what it is to me? I think there's this sentimentality because the kids are from the City Academy. We must give them a go. We have to give them a go. I'm going to hit you with a bit of reality. Have you ever thought they're just not good enough? Just because they're from the academy does not mean they get a rite of passage straight into the first team. You still have to be good enough.
Oh no, you're absolutely right, Martin. I said as soon as we started getting linked to these players that, you know, we're in the latter stages of signing, or the ones that we're heavily linked to, immediately my first thoughts go, well, I wonder how much that is going to affect Nico O'Reilly. How much is that going to affect Jacob Wright? So
Nico O'Reilly's not going to play. We know that movement. He's not going to play.
No, I agree with you. But I'd love to see him get a go, but I just don't think he will now. These signings that we're bringing in are just a proof that that's going to happen.
Pep Guardiola believed in Jamal Simpson-Puzzi so much, he does not go out and buy 2 of these players. He doesn't do it.
No, you're right.
And now the way. Sorry, I was just going to say, and the way you look at it now, I think if anything, you know, these players are now, with the game time they're getting this season, it's actually just going to raise their stocks even higher. So for all we know, we're looking at players like Simpson Puzzi, who, you know, if you tried to sell him last summer, you may have got him out the door for 5-10 million. But now with the game time he's had, you may get a team out there that may want to pay 15 or 20 million for him. So it just remains to be seen. But again, you know, if they don't cut it, then, you know, we're going to look at you know, this class of academy players in 3 years' time and say, well, you know, they didn't make it, but thank you very much because their services gave us the money to get the next big midfielder in, or help us rebuild the first team squad for future title runs. So it's always whichever way you look at it.
I would love 11 Mancunians, young lads. I'd love it if we win the title. Nothing would make me prouder. But I also do know this is not City of 25 years ago. I'm not stupid in that essence. The days of Willow Flood and Lee Crooks and all them are gone. I'm not stupid. Don't do that. Do not do that ever again. What was that about? What was that about?
Little Willow.
You've been drinking?
It's like a little sort of.
Have you been drinking?
What are those little Irish fairies called that, you know?
Have you got Alan? Have you got Alan in your hotel room?
He's drunk.
Is Alan in your hotel room?
Under the desk?
Certainly not.
But what's Adelaide like, by the way, Rich? Is it good? You enjoying it?
I quite like Adelaide, yeah. It's like a big town.
Well, you were lucky.
If from Sydney, any city feels like a regional town. But
apparently, you had a power cut in Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney got absolutely battered.
By the way, I haven't said this, and I should have said this. I've never said. I don't know why I've never. Thoughts and prayers at everyone over in California. By the way, please stay safe. Look after each other, and please, keep fighting the good fight and looking after each other over there. It's horrendous what is going on. It's so sad to see. So if you are watching and you are from over there, please stay safe. And thoughts and prayers are with you all. Totally should have slipped my mind that. I don't know why I've never done it, but should have been done. Very unlike us to not do that. Listen, I nothing to give me greater pleasure, but I know that would be a 5-6 year process to get done. And the trouble is, the board and the way we are structured is they can't wait 5 years to go and win a league title with kids. I know they'd love to do it, but they can't. They can't wait for that.
I do kind of agree with you, Martin, in some respects, but you have to think about like the kids that have come through, and some of the kids where they've ended up and what they're going on to achieve. You don't have to look at Cole Palmer for being one of them. The great thing is that we can say at City, very much like Barcelona with Manazio back in the day when they were kind of producing wonderful kids and such wonderful kids that were going to be superstars.
They still do.
They're still doing
yeah.
But what I'm saying is we're on that it feels like we're very much on that level now. We've kind of caught up, even with the likes of Chelsea's academy as well. So, and it's always, we've said before on the show that, now we're producing these kids. I think, possibly you could put some of these more into the first team. But the problem is that because of the high expectations, yeah, you won't. But what I'm trying to say is that I think it's difficult. No, but I'm getting to my point of you could do this, but the problem is there's such high expectations on the club and from the fans. It's so difficult to field an 11 come from straight from the academy.
I'm sorry, if everyone's looking shell shocked, I have had conversations with Ozzy privately where I have said the exact same thing, and Ozzy goes, but it's expectations. So what he's done is he's come in to do the devil's advocate part tonight on the academy kids, because I'm telling you, Ozzy, and Rich knows this, you're normally one of we have expectations. We're Manchester City. So what are you doing this for? You have totally flip-flopped here.
I'm not flip-flopped at all, Martin.
You totally flip-flopped.
I am just putting out the argument. I'm not saying it has to be my argument or anyone's
argument. You play devil's advocate then, like I just said.
But I'm literally just putting it out there that this is the conversation we've had in the past, and these are the conversations we will continue to have going forward. Can
we stop talking about Alan in the super chat? We need to erase from our memories. The scary thing is I had a chat with Alan yesterday about coming back on the channel. I'm like, for freak's sake. Yep. It is like one ear out the other ear. It seriously is. Oh. He's like that kid you put on the naughty step and then the naughty 10 seconds later. He says sorry and then, bollocks to it. I'll go again.
He's never getting off that naughty step, let's be honest.
Do you think he'll ever realise he's like live to the world?
He doesn't want to now after that super chat.
Do you think he's ever noticing he's live to the world? He stopped coming in our chat anyway. Doesn't come in our chat anymore. We're not big enough. We're not big enough for him anymore.
Pause.
Hey, Alan. I don't know if anyone cares about the women's team much, but I got to give them some props too. The new sporting director showing hella ambition as the men's director, looking up with both teams. The women are doing very, very well. Very, very well. Right. Obviously, I don't want to go. We're going to end up going down in circles on the academy kids again. I do think McAtee's got a chance to stay in. We'll see. Where are you at with Mamouche and Ustinov? Because I was on City Loop TV earlier, and we tried putting together an 11. We said for everyone fit, for Ipswich, for example. And we were all great. We were in the defence, and you're like, yeah, he goes here, Akanji there, and they'll go on the bench. Then we got to the midfield. Jesus. Then it became World War III.
Mm-hmm.
So does KDB go out for Mamouche? Or does Foden go out for Mamouche? Or does Savio go out for Mamouche? Or who does... And we were like, oh, my God, this is going to cause problems. I mean, nice problems, because everyone wanted the FIFA squad.
behave, Mike.
And we didn't even get into the Cambiasso stuff yet.
I mean, for me, Mamouche is going to play one of the front three, so I'm not going to be.
He can play midfield though, Rich.
Yeah, he can, but I think
he plays a second striker. And he has been.
But I think in our setup he's going to play right or left, and he's going to be rotating with Savio and Doku and Bob, etc. And he'll be playing instead of Haaland in games when Haaland needs a rest, because I think Haaland is far better when he's not playing 10 games on the trot. He's maybe playing 7 or 8 of the 10 and having a couple of rests. So I think it's the midfield. I don't think he's playing in midfield. Who the best midfield is at the moment, I'm not quite sure about.
Honestly though, Rich, him in the midfield isn't a bad thing, because he's got the legs. It's something we're severely missed at the moment. And with Bernardo Silva being pretty much crap at the moment, like, I wouldn't be averse to having Bernardo knowing in the squad at the moment.
But is Mamouche a Bernardo player? Because Mamouche isn't the guy who's going to win you the ball and run around in midfield.
No, it'd be an absolute waste to take. But I'll say he's being signed to make us more clinical up front.
That's what I'm saying.
To get us more assists and more goals. I mean, we'll be saying, let's play Haaland right back in a minute if we're not careful.
This is what I'm saying. I think we've got to be careful of that. I'm talking. I think you're going to be looking at one of the wingers or KDB and Foden that are going to lose out here when he plays. One of them are going to lose. And I've not even got to the Jack Grealish, Doku, and Oscar Bob situation yet. But everyone wanted FIFA. Let's go.
Yeah, but I mean, we had Alvarez back in the squad, and he was also
but you had KDB injured, and when KDB got fit, Alvarez dropped to the bench. That's why Alvarez has to leave.
Yeah, but you also have to remember, Mike, we need to manage KDB's minutes. Do you know what I mean?
I might give him a new contract now.
Well, that's rumours. There's no guarantees that's going to happen. It's more like
not rumours. It's quite legit at the minute. They are looking at it, mate. They're looking at a 2-year deal on $250 a week and reducing him down.
Will he realistically accept that? I'll be surprised.
Everyone loves Manchester. Everyone loves Manchester.
Well,
Pep won't stay.
Good reason.
Good reason. Stay, Haaland won't
except
stay.
Rich, who left it.
We have to be careful that we don't fall.
2 years of De Bruyne. Yeah, that makes sense. 2 years of De Bruyne, then he'll go over to New York City and play a couple of seasons there where they open the new stadium.
This is exactly, by the way, and this is exactly where I see Cambiasso. Everyone's on about the midfielder. I think Cambiasso becomes your inverter.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I honestly think Cambiasso will invert and he'll do this Rico thingy job. That it was the guy he had at Bayern. No.
Philip Lam.
Philip Lam. He'll do a Philip Lam on the guy. Because I watched a guy who was a massive Juventus fan. And I can't remember his name. He was on YouTube. He did a short on it. And a year ago, he said, I hope Pep never hears about this guy. Because he was doing the same thing for Juventus, then invert him. And then yesterday, he did a shot and he went, he's figured it out. He's found him. He said, if he puts in with Rodri in that double pivot, we're screwed.
Well, I said in the previous show to you, Martin, I said, because we played Juventus, I think Pep's done what he did with Bernardo Silva when he was at Monaco. Saw him play 2 legs against us and then said, that's the guy I want on my team next season.
He didn't play against us, did he? He was injured when we played them.
Monaco?
So, no.
Juventus. Was he? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't think Cambiasso played.
Yeah, he's very, very versatile to play. Right back, left back, invert.
He can also play in the midfield as well.
Can I put an interesting lineup out to you that one of our Sydney Blues put in one of our group chats?
She's not signed
yesterday. Just take this with a pinch of salt. Maybe this is a lineup that you might look appealing for next season or something. But it's a 3-2-4-1 formation with Ortega in goal, and then it has to be Ortega at the moment, given form. But you've got a back three of Gvardiol, Ruben Diaz, and Kuzanov, Rodri and Cambiasso, and a midfield from left to right of Savio, Mamouche, Foden, Oscar Bob, and Haaland up front.
Who you dropped?
Obviously, Bernardo and Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, I think that.
I'm not saying this is like.
Go.
I'm not saying that this is like the first choice lineup, but I'm saying like, how does this sound as a lineup like going forward for the future? Certainly, like a, if this was a lineup in say like a, like in a derby or at Anfield or something like that, you know what I mean?
I think a little bit lightweight. That to me, that side still sounds, particularly up front, maybe very exciting, a lot of movement, but I think we need a bit more steel. I think you need another player in that front five who's, a bit more physical.
See, I'm excited though. I'm totally excited for this because it's, for me, players are going to have to be on form now to play. Because if they're not on form, they're going to the bench. And you know what? I think it will also help some of our recruitment for the summer. Because from now till summer, I think you'll fight. Pep will see which ones are here for the fight and which ones have down tools. Because trust me now, there will be some players in this squad, because it's in every game, where their bottom lip will roll out when they're not playing. So whether that's Doku or whether that's Sabio or whether that's whoever it is, someone, and I'm just using them as an example, their bottom lip's going to hang out. Because they're not going to play like they want to play.
Well, I've been saying that for years, Martin, that we need more competition in more places. We can't just Pep can't just rely on 15 players. He has to utilise the whole of the squad.
We're about to find out. You might find out in 2 weeks. No, just for me, that's what I mean. I think it's going to sort the wheat from the chaff. This is going to sort the wheat from the chaff. It may give Pep a lot of headaches, but you know what? Tough. Because what he can now say is, if you're not playing well, I've got Ushanov sat on the bench. If you're not playing well, I've got Victor Hayes sat on the bench. If you're not playing well, I've got John Stones sat on the bench. If you're not playing well, I've got Mamouche, I've got Savio, I've got Bob. I mean, by the way, we are now going to have to start putting players out of the matchday squad. That's something they're going to have to live with now. Because I looked at the bench the other day, and you had McAtee, you had O'Reilly, you had Simpson Pusey and all them on it. All of them are coming off. They're going into the stand. Because Ushanov, Victor Hayes, Mamouche, Diaz is back now. Stones will be back. Cambiasso could be in. They're all going to take their places on the bench. Gundogan could find himself sat on the sidelines. Not even in the matchday squad.
Well, he hasn't been good enough, so that's not the end of the world.
Grealish could find himself not in the matchday squad now. We have literally become Chelsea version 2. City won't believe it. I think that's more for summer, Bradley. No, there's no way Brighton are not going to let Blaber go now in Jan. They will not let him go in Jan. No chance. Not without getting a thing in.
Unless they're looking at a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, because it is positive. It is positive. Yeah, I agree it is. I mean, it's up to... I mean, personally, I wouldn't give KDB a contract. I'd like to go... Because I think if you give KDB a contract, it will put all dents in a Bayana, Musiala, but it'll put a dent in all them. I don't think you get Musiala, Roberts anyway, but don't think you get Bayana then.
I think you've got to be realistic. I mean, he'll be 34 by the time we come into the summer. And I think as good as KDB can be, he's just so injury prone. His body isn't what it was. They've had to manage his minutes. We were all complaining about him, Pep and the club, managing his minutes for the last few months. Are we going to seriously kind of be in this same situation next year going, well, we need Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, he's not fit, so we're just going to have to wait until he's back. I just think as a club, you can't do that. I love Kevin De Bruyne. I love the player that he was when he was fit and he was, young enough to get through injuries. But now you've got to move forward. We're doing this with Walker. Walker, we've all said should have gone a season or two ago. And we're kind of doing the same with Kevin De Bruyne. We're all wanting to hang on to this player because on his day, he's one of the best midfielders on the planet. But that time is coming to an end, and we have to be realistic.
Right.
We
Well, what I've
can't
sort of
change-
on the screen, because by the way, I've now learned how to
Pat,
share.
could you see Aussie worse? Aussie, could you see Kevin De Bruyne best case scenario was sort of like the way Real Madrid has sort of utilised Modric over the last couple of years?
Yeah, best case scenario.
Elderly,
but-
older, still puts in a shift, but they just proceed with caution with him in terms of game time.
I'll tell you what.
But the problem is though, I'm just going to quickly say this: are we willing to do that? If he's willing to, because let's be honest, Kevin De Bruyne is his own worst enemy because he wants to be on that pitch. He demands to be on that pitch because he just wants to be out there and play. Modric seems a bit more reserved in the respect that he knows his age, he knows what he can do and what he can't do. Is Kevin De Bruyne really going to do that? And then the other thing is, if Kevin De Bruyne can't do that, and then he starts getting into a Kyle Walker situation where his form just drops off a cliff, he hasn't got the legs. Do we really want to see another situation that we've got currently with Walker on KDB, another legend of our club, getting absolutely hounded for all the wrong reasons? Because I don't want to see that again.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what we do. You can see I brought up because Martin's now learned how to present. He's now figured it all out. You can see the City squad there. So you've got Scott Carson.
Can't see that.
You got Scott Carson, Edison, Stefano Ortega. This is for now. You've got Akanji, Ake, Diaz, Gabardio, Rico Lewis, John Stones. Obviously, Kyle's going, and Wilson Espan, we don't know. So you're going to have Victor Hayes and Ushinov to take their spots. Yep. So 2 for 2. In the midfield, Oscar Bob now because he's back. Kevin De Bruyne, Jeremy Doku, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Ilkay Gundogan, Matteo Kovacic, James McAtee, Mateus Nunes, Rodri, Sabinho, Bernardo Silva, Erling Haaland, and Mamouche. So that's without an O'Reilly. That's without a Simpson Pusa. Yeah. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And I've not included any of the other ones. Yeah. Yep. So we're already at 25, and you can only play a 20-man squad on a match day. And I've not even included, like I said, Jacob Wright. I've not included O'Reilly. I've not included Simpson Pusa.
But let's also be serious, though, Martin. With the players that you've just gone through there, how many of them are for the future?
Echeverri as well. Sorry, Echeverri. I've got to add in.
How many of them are fit? I mean, that's the thing.
No. I know.
I mean, just putting it like, how many of them realistically are going to be there for the rebuild come this summer?
No, I'm just talking rest of the season. I'm just talking rest of the season. I'm just trying to do it on a short-term basis. Because you sort about your 25 now. Yeah, you're at your 25 sort of area now. I just think I think for next season we'll sort it out. Like you just said, spot on players are going to leave. Jack Grealish should probably leave. So, but from now till May, Pep's going to scratch his head a lot, trying to keep everyone happy, bunnies. Because I know you're saying yes, but they've just got everyone back. There's only one player injured now.
I don't think you have to keep everybody happy, because I think there are certain players already that he's labelled as they are probably not here.
Okay, like who do you think?
Who do I think? I think Gundo. I think Jack Grealish. I think Kovacic is on the precipice for me, because I don't think he's been good enough, to be honest. I think he's been really poor over the last few games. He's no number 6. And I think even him as number 8 has been questionable. Nunes. I mean, we've already talked about Kyle Walker. And I think you also have to talk about the likeliness of at least one of Ake or Stones that probably...
Then you're going to need homegrown players.
I didn't mean... Oh, well, yeah, but you haven't asked me about who I'd bring in. It's just who at the moment, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just saying The trouble is, can you set a Jack Grealish? Because this is my thing. The other night against Brentford, everyone was calling for Jack Grealish to come off the bench for the last 15 minutes. You can't just ignore him for the rest of the season and roll him in at every 10 or 15 minutes you fancy it.
I don't think he needs to bring Jack Grealish off the bench. Honestly, I don't know what he's done to deserve so many City fans to say that, to be honest. Because for me, it was just about that the players on the pitch need to see the game out. And as we've talked privately, Martin, it was about if they need to go to the corner flag and shithouse it, then that's what they have.
But that's what they wanted Jack to do.
Well, yeah, but there are other players on that pitch that could have done that just as easily. You know, for me, Jack Grealish has not done enough, as far as I'm concerned, to get himself into the squad right now. I haven't seen the commitment from him when he come on the pitch. And obviously, he hasn't started the last few games, so Pep hasn't seen that commitment from him. I think we have to be realistic. The likeliness of Jack Grealish being at the club much longer is diminishing by the day.
No, I agree. But like I said, you've still got Gundogan, like you said, Kovacic, all Leeds to come in. I mean, Rico Lewis, we've not even talked. Everyone's forgotten Rico Lewis all of a sudden because he can't be pissed off back to the EDS.
No, but he's also, I think, he's played so much that I think he ran himself into the ground a little bit. He lost a bit of form, and I think he needed a bit of time off, in all honesty.
But what's time off? Because your time off and the player's time off are two separate things.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm the expert when it comes to how much time he needs off. That's down to himself and Pep and the rest of the coaching staff to decide that. But I'm saying that, you know, we all know what a quality player he can be on his day. He's just not had the best run of form of late, and that's why he's been out of the squad for a little bit to give himself a bit of a rest. You know, he's a 19-year-old lad that, you know, putting that amount of pressure on has took its toll. You know, but I have no doubt the quality of him. You know, I have no doubt that he has a future at City. It's just where, because I think none of us are quite sure if he's, you know, a right back and midfielder, because as a midfielder and right back, he's still quite, well, you know, he hasn't grown to his body fully yet. He still needs to kind of put a bit on. He still, you know, he gets easily shoved off the ball at times, you know, so he's still growing, he's still developing. So he's still got time on his side.
No, by the way, Brexit, we're not moaning. I'm giving you the reality of the situation. And then what you'll get is fans will moan that the players are complaining because they're sat in the stand.
Yeah, but the fans will always moan. You know, there are some City fans who will always moan, but there'll be a lot less of them moaning than there have been this season about us having no players.
I would rather have too many players, and I'd rather have too many players if they're not playing, then they should be asking why.
You lot were all calling Chelsea idiots and wild people 3-4 months ago, and we've gone like them.
No, I don't. I think you're exaggerating a little bit there, Martin.
You were one of them. You were one of them who said Chelsea going wild.
Yeah, because they're 40-odd players, Martin. I'm not talking.
We're not far behind it with our EDS. We've got 30.
EDS is
with our EDS, they had senior, you know, 6 or 7 senior pros. They weren't going to be able to get into the 25.
Oh yeah, I didn't even include Cambiasso, by the way. Did not include Cambiasso in that little list.
Well, he's not our player yet, so
I'm fine with it. Go with it. And like I said, I'm fine with it. Go with whatever we've gone.
Cambiasso's neutral anyway because he comes if Walker goes. He's coming because Walker's going.
No, I didn't include Walker, Rich, in that list.
Yeah. Okay.
I swapped out Walker or Esbrand for Ushinov and Hayes. So Cambiasso would be an extra. But yeah, we're gonna have more options now, and this is, you know, it is what it is. I'm excited for it. Like I said, people wanted the FIFA squad. You're gonna get the FIFA squad. Let's embrace it, and enjoy the ride for me.
Pat, you've been very quiet, which is unusual for you. Come on.
Well,
no, I just know when to speak. But look, it's you can talk about players in, players out till you're blue in the face, basically. And you know, to use an oxymoron, these are good problems for Pep to have, basically. So, I don't know. It's you talk about one player out and then you talk about 3 in, and I think we're just got to sit back and just see what plans Pep and the club have for the current players, given what's coming in at the moment. So we have to wait and see. And I think given the way Pep moves, he'll probably pull some crazy sort of move to move players into new positions or increase their versatility and things like that. So I'm not going to get into too much detail about it because we do feel like we inevitably get into a bit of a merry-go-round sort of situation with it. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Just going to be interesting how sort of City maneuver in terms of the squad and what they do with the academy players and go from there. So I haven't really got much to say about it because it is a very complex topic to talk about. But again, the vastness of riches certainly help. They certainly make the problem less of an issue for us, you might say. It's
a sentimental problem, isn't it, Pat? Because that's the thing.
I think so. Everybody has their own personal attachment to a certain player and that too, and that can get in the way of not necessarily the reality, but just the harshness of what football can be.
I've heard Rich didn't have mirrors in his house because of his reflection.
I'm a vampire. I don't have one. A vampire.
I thought you said a thumpire.
What's a thumpire?
That's what I was about to ask you. What's a thumpire?
Sounds like the rabbit in Bambi.
I was like what Alan was doing earlier with the rabbit in Bambi.
I thought this was a family show.
No, we're past the watershed. Real Madrid fans moan, but they win trophies. Chelsea. Hey, we're becoming like you. You can't keep everyone happy, be it players, fans, or journals. Exactly. Listen, if we were all happy, we'd all be singing Kumbaya. Happy.
Go for 10 minutes.
Yeah, go for 10 minutes and close off. Right. One thing before we get on to Ipswich, I know you got to go, Rich. Come on, Rich. You're the financial guy. City is slapping down 200 odd million quid. They've signed Haaland up to virtually £1 million a week with all his bonuses and etc. Are we still going down to the League One? Are we still off, Skiz?
Oh, let's hope so. It'll be so fun watching. I think the reason they've done a 10-year deal is so that we can go to the non-league North. We can spend 5 years getting back to the Premier League, and then he's still got a full 4 years left on his contract at the end of it. Obviously, it's a master plan so that Haaland can break the scoring record in 6 leagues of English football. But we
were trying to get your actual
serious
financial outlook there, and you come and give me that.
Yeah, I mean the fact that City are investing big money suggests that City are confident. I mean, they're not.
You don't agree with Magic Hat, then?
I think that person's a City fan taking the mick because they've shown themselves to be so ignorant of fact and so, ridiculous. So ridiculous that quite frankly they should be completely and utterly just laughed at and shared for the comedy that they're there for. But no, City must be confident, Martin. City must be confident. Whether that's right, who knows?
Come on, add more. We want to rant for 5 minutes. Go, you versus Magic Hat. He's talking about amortization.
Me versus Magic Hat. I think Magic Hat is an Arsenal fan who's never talked about Arsenal on a single tweet, who spends his time in his hobby writing accountancy emails and accountancy tweets, and Magic Hat should just be laughed at because he's somebody who's spending their free time on accounting, trying to troll City fans, and it's just hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So everyone go on a Magic Hat and just absolutely just take the mick. You don't need to get angry. You don't need to argue. There's no point. You just have to take the mick. And if that is a professional journalist, as Martin has suggested, then that's even funnier because that's somebody who's professional and that's what their life and their hobby is. I mean, this is making Alan look like some international playboy riding from yacht to yacht in Monaco in the Bahamas.
Oh, should we come back now? We had to end it on a rich rant.
That's not a rich rant. Richie's on holiday. He's relaxed.
You told me you were on a work call conference.
No.
You're on holiday.
Yeah. I'm on
Please
holiday.
no.
Is
Adelaide a holiday destination? I don't know.
I'd say it's the serial killer capital of the world. Well,
Haaland's back. Haaland's back.
Alan, is he?
It is.
Yeah, Dr. Zeus. Yeah, we should write some little poems about Magic Hat in a Dr. Zeus book. Right, get more sense.
Do you want to thank DB before you shoot? Who's gifted 10 memberships?
I certainly do want to thank DB. I think someone better than me needs to thank DB, to be honest.
Well, Pat can. He's not spoke a lot tonight. He's too relaxed.
So, good night, everyone.
I'm allowed to take it.
Night, Rich.
See you, Rich.
I think we'll beat Ipswich. I'm feeling good. See, bye.
All right. Big up DB for the 10 memberships. You are a legend. And
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Of course, if you got a membership, don't forget to say thank you.
I didn't mean to take you off halfway through. I thought you were done.
Yeah, he did, Pat.
Yeah, you did, dickhead.
Right, Pat, Ozzy, what do you think of the 115? Obviously, with the news and the window.
Go on, Pat. You haven't said much.
I can't think of a more indirect way of basically saying that we are clear and screw the Premier League, screw Richard Masters, screw the Red Cartel, and anybody who's under the illusion that we've been you've been guilty since day one, basically. As far as I'm concerned, do one. That's all I can say. I already had a fair few things to say about the 115, in the previous show, mate. So I'm just adding on to what I said before. Like, can't really think of anything more of a more indirect or directly indirect way of saying that we're clear.
Listen, I'm going to say this officially now. We are 50 away, 5-0 away from 5K. Yesterday, we went up 75 subscribers, which has got us to this mark of 50 away. So if you are new and you've not hit that subscribe button, please do. Literally 50 away from the massive giveaway. It's nothing. It's a drop in the ocean, 50. Yeah, if you're brand new, please do it. Share it around. If you haven't smashed that like, please do. Remember, massive giveaway at the 5,000. We'll do that on our next live as soon as we hit it. But yeah, let's see if we can hit it. It'd be great if we could hit it tonight. There's 333 of you in here right now. There's nearly 400 5 minutes ago. So if anyone is new and you've not hit the subscribe, please do. I think City knows something we don't. We've officially smoked the Premier League. He's 9 point for, yes, it is actually roughly just under. I assume, no, I don't think Calvin Phillips can unless we've allowed him to. But under the rules, unless we give him special dispensation. But the Red Cartel says Villa 1982. Love it, mate. Spartacus about to storm down Pep Sabis and choke him until Sabio starts every game. Wow. My prediction is 3-1. Haaland 2 goals. Foden will score as well. And Delap will score for Ipswich. Subscribers, haters. I just laugh at my rivals because it shows how little they know about the whole case and they believe nothing. We really got Goldbridge going today.
Shocking.
Got Goldbridge a bit upset today.
Oh,
isn't it?
He was rattled. Talking about
Massive. 47 away now. 47. Keep going. 47 away. Keep going. Keep going.
Talking about soulless club and bloody calling him a glorified Gary Lineker and all that. Like
over the weekend. I'm not doing anything tonight or tomorrow. Tomorrow is me and my missus' night. We are going on date night. I'm having some time with the other half. She's not seeing me all week. When is it? So it'll be over the weekend. Hello, everyone. I'm late. Don't worry. No need to apologize to be late, Julie. It's just good you are here. So close to subscribe if you're not already. Go on, Ozzy. What do you think about 115? Before we move on to the tractor boys.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like the weeks, it's, City have been so confident, with them not being guilty. It hasn't changed. It hasn't wavered their resolve that they are innocent. As Pat was kind of saying, it's amazing how much, other rivals have had absolute meltdowns. I mean, I was watching a clip from Talk Sport today, and just, some of the comments that were coming from them, that if City are not found guilty, it's a crime, that how can they not be found guilty? Well, there's a little thing called, innocent before guilt, proven guilty. Sorry, guilt. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But it's remarkable.
But it's remarkable.
Yeah, it's remarkable that City have, without any evidence being, submitted, we were guilty. No one apart from a City fan has felt that everyone is against us. Everybody wants rid of City. Everybody wants City kicked out of the league, kicked out of in all English competition. They hate us so much that they've been constantly. We've had this that it was when Pep goes, we'll be in a better place. When Haaland leaves for Real Madrid, they won't have the firepower up front. When Kevin De Bruyne goes, when David Silva goes, when Aguero goes, it's been a constant. Just they have hoped and wished that City would just disappear into the background again, and they would have the rights and the control of the Premier League, and they would be able to win the Premier League because they've not done it for a decade or whatever. It's jealousy, because they all really know that they would love, if they could have Pep Guardiola as their manager, they would. If they could have Haaland as their striker, they would. If they could have Kevin De Bruyne as one of their midfielders, they could have Diaz in their back four. The list goes on of how jealous and insecure a lot of our rivals are. That it's just, we have been so good and we've ridden so high. We've set the bench so high that barely anybody has touched us. The only club that has touched us is Liverpool, because they won it in the COVID period. Since then, we've done a four-peat, and it's rattled so many of our rivals. You have to look at Arsenal fans, because, really and truly, it should be them looking at winning the league this season, not a new manager coming to Liverpool that, has had a couple of good seasons in Amsterdam. It's Arteta that should be going. Sorry, Rotterdam, but you know what I mean. It should be them, and it's not. They've fallen out. They've lost a couple of players, and all of a sudden, the title chase is over. And it's just like we've lost how many players to injuries this season, and we've still not fallen as far as Spurs or United. And it just says to me that I could care less. Really and truly, I feel we're in such a brilliant position, and everything that's coming out of the club, with the Haaland contract, with Pep extending, with the stadium expansions, with everything going on right now, I can't say I'm worried anymore about 115.
I've never been worried. I really haven't. I just always thought, but it's not the way we move. I would have got, I'll be honest, I got a little bit nervous a couple of weeks back when we hadn't bought anyone and we didn't think we were going to do anything in January. I thought January would be pivotal. I thought if we just bought one or two and it was a couple of loans, I thought, right, we're keeping money back here for something. We're expecting a huge fine. But now we're seeing us do what we're doing. And there's no release clauses. There is no 115 clauses in any of these contracts. despite Magic Hat saying, oh, they all have terms and conditions. Piss off. You have no idea how City contracts are negotiated. Stop guessing, Nick Harris, because that's what we all know who you are. So stop you absolute mumbling and fumbling. Because
Martin, you're forgetting Uncle Fester has seen the emails. So
yeah, you got people.
He's the all-seeing eye.
I've seen the emails. Well, if you've seen the emails, why is Mamouche coming to City and not to your club? So shut up, sit down in your little chair with your Adidas tracksuit and do nothing. Because what you know is nothing.
Fact.
Stop telling everyone you know fact when you know jack shit. Because you know a couple of reporters. I've forgotten more than you know. I've been to Anfield more than you. So shut your mouth. Keep quiet. You know now. Mamouche didn't come to your club because he wanted to come to City. Deal with it. Haaland turned down Liverpool, Madrid, United and everyone else because he's a City fan and wanted to come. Goldfish going on about, my Haaland has no ambition. Piss off. Where's he going to go? To your football club? Nottingham Forest don't need a striker. They got Chris Wood, so why would he go to Forest?
Up the wood.
Hey.
Pause.
Careful,
Lose. Thank you for your generous £10, mate. Drink Rival Tears. They are delicious. And we are drinking them. And we are enjoying them. Rival Tears. It is available on TikTok Shop. Big Steve will sell you.
But also, you have to think, Haaland could, go to Real Madrid. But me going back to what I said earlier about Haaland being a humble player, being such a gentleman, being such a, he really loves where he is right now in his life. Going to Real Madrid, which, in all honesty, has become a massive cesspool. I mean, it was really for a long time, but now it just seems even worse, with them completely just throwing their toys out the pram when Rodri won the Ballon d'Or, to the on-field antics, from Vicious Jr., that he will roll around like Neymar at times when no one's touched him or he's lost the ball fairly. And even Bellingham has fallen into this. It's just, do you really want to go play for a club like that right now? Because to me, it's pathetic. It's a club that if they don't get their own way, Alfonso Davies would look like he was going to Real Madrid. Now David Ornstein has said that he's more like staying at Bayern Munich, signing a new contract. I mean, that's a player that could go on a free, just like Alexander Arnold could do this summer. But actually, it's looking like he's staying at Bayern Munich because, if anything, you look at what you're going into. Do you really want to go into that mess of a dressing room where you've got so many egos that, no. What?
It is jealousy. It's pure jealousy because their clubs are run shambolic. There's no coincidence. You've got a United fan who's really a Forest fan. You've got Craig who's a Liverpool fan. And their clubs are run like piss pot 5-year-olds are running them. Because they haven't got a clue. Because they've got bankers and wankers in charge. They haven't got football people. I call them bankers and wankers. That's who they have in charge of their football club, who don't know the first thing about football. Because they think they know about business. They know what they're doing.
They're the clubs that wanted to, go into the Super League. They were all for it.
Yeah. Do you know what the biggest thing I've noticed from the last few months, or basically since the 115 came out, is you're seeing the true colours of these sort of red cartel sort of fans and content creators, where it's something that never really existed, 10, 20, 30 years ago. And using hypotheticals of social media, so it existed back then. What we're seeing now is because of City, even in a way because of Chelsea, is you're seeing these clubs, particularly City, taking away these fan bases' sense of self-entitlement, believing that it should be them competing for every single trophy, and that any other club dares to try and take trophies away from them is some sort of sacrilege or is against the fabric or the morals of football or something like that. And football's never been like that. It should never be like that. It should be open for everybody to compete in. And, I just think that, sure, we've been very fortunate to have the spoils of riches like we do, but the club has gone about its business in the most professional manner possible. And it's had to deal with basically a sort of, somewhat establishment of English football, basically trying to discredit and bring down its success in any way that it can, because it cannot accept the fact that, the atmosphere, the way football has been going for decades, and that is not what it used to be. And the fact that, these content creators are basically puppets in a way for these sort of clubs because they want to create a sort of disillusion of the game itself, or believe that because they're not competing year in year out anymore for every single trophy, that the game has sort of come into disrepute, like as if football is determined by the success of these particular clubs. And I'm sorry, but we've gone and kicked the hornet's nest, and unfortunately they have nothing to bite it, nothing to come back at us with. And I'm here for every single minute of it. And I tell you what, when that final verdict comes through, I just cannot wait to see the universal celebrations of the entire Blue universe. It's going to be absolutely sweet. And I can just say one thing: I think any red cartel fan, and you can even throw Spurs in there as well too. Peter Drury said it perfectly in 93-20. He said, where will they go from here? Where will they hide? Well, unfortunately, the boot's on the other shoe now. And I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens. And I hope everybody out there is just basically living on standby for when that verdict comes out, because when we do, mass euphoria and mass celebrations on a global scale. I cannot wait.
Yeah. A couple of people I need to give a shout out to. Chroma Base, thank you for new for 9th month. You are a legend, sir. Thank you so much. And Nikita, thank you for your $5. Hey guys, keep up the great content. Any idea who's the most realistic CDM target? I will just end on this. Edison is off. It ain't going to happen from Atalanta. You're probably down to Homeland, Sporting, or Douglas Luiz, but Cambiasso may also be the backup to invert into there anyway. So we'll see, and we will see. Moving forward, but let's City as we move on to the last part of the show. Ipswich away. How are we feeling? Which there will be a watch along for, by the way, over on Big Up, starting at 4:15. I will put the link in the chat. It is free of charge to get over there. Come and join me live. We have a good laugh. We have a halftime panel show. Come and join us.
Well, all I could say first off, straight off the bat, is thanks Premier League for making this fixture on a weekend rather than 8 o'clock on a bloody Thursday night, because God forbid the amount of time for our City fans to travel to and from that ground will be an absolute nightmare. And even then, Martin, you could probably have a bit more. You'd probably be a bit more familiar with going out to Ipswich than I would, but even a Sunday afternoon isn't exactly the most smoothest smoothest destination to get to, is it?
No, it's an awful place. Not an awful place to go to, but an awful place to get to.
Yeah. And, I think it'll be a good game. I think Ipswich I don't know, what's Ipswich form's been like lately? I mean, I wouldn't say they're consistent, but I mean, they're plucky. They're trying to get out of the drop zone, aren't they?
They got a result against Chelsea, didn't they? And
yeah,
I mean, they gave Arsenal a game. I know they lost it, but they only lost it by 1-0. They
did well to get a point away at Fulham. Not many teams have been able to get points away at Fulham this season.
No, exactly.
Yeah, they're plucky. I
mean,
they're only a point. Well, actually, they're 11 on points with Wolves, who are 17, and they're safe from the drop at the moment. In fact, they're on the exact same goal difference. So, that's. I think this will be a more important game for them. Not necessarily. I mean, obviously, if they got any points, it'd be a huge bonus for them. But particularly the goal difference, because for them, I think if they were to go away with like a 4 or 5-0 loss, that's going to hurt them, because I think having such a big drop in the goal difference from Wolves, who are equal on points but safe at the moment, that'll feel like more than just 3 points drop. That'll feel like 4 points, So it'll be. I think this is an important game for them, and I think they'll be up for it. The fans will definitely be up for it.
Well, I think the other thing that surprised me about Ipswich is actually their home form has been worse than their away form. So that was quite surprising to me that really they've struggled at home quite a lot, which is in our favour really if they are. And they're also having to rely on the lap to score the goals. So, I mean, as good as he's been, if you're relying on one player, kind of like we have in some respects, but you know, he's been a hell of a player for them. But again, you know, you'd want the rest of your team to be able to chip in.
It's going to be a tricky fixture. I think the last time we went out to that part of the UK to play a game, we played Norwich and we lost. That was in the COVID season. But I don't think we'll have the same sort of issues as we did that day. But you got to expect that the Ipswich fans are going to be up for it. It'll be a big game for them. There's a lot at stake here, and given the fact that they've given some tough teams or some better teams a good run over the last few weeks, it's not going to be. This isn't going to be an easy fixture. But I also think that given the frustrations of what happened away at Brentford too, I think the players will be up for it. They'll be certainly a lot more upbeat, a lot more up tempo, especially now with the announcement of Haaland as well too. I think the players are going to have a bit of wind in their sails, and I think if they're trying to find some momentum, I think this is a good game to try and find that momentum. Given we've got PSG coming up as well too, and that could be a really really crucial game given our current position in the Champions League table. So I think there's a bit at stake here for this game. But look, I'm confident, but I think we just need to proceed with caution with this one.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Pat. But also, I think just on the other kind of foot is that it's a must-win game, really. Like, I know everything you said is true, that Ipswich are tricky. They've given better teams that are in better form than us right now, but it's still a team that have come up from the Championship, and that's no offence to Ipswich, but when you're City, when you're the current Premier League champions, this is a game where you should be kind of coming into it going, we should be winning this. When we drew against Brentford, I think most of us were disappointed, and obviously we've analysed that game, but it was somehow a bit more acceptable because even when we're at our best, Brentford are always a tricky team to play against, home and away. The season before last, we played them and they beat us at home and away. So, I think we can accept that a little bit more. But I just feel that really and truly, this is a game that City should just be going out and winning, and it should be. I'm not saying we can keep a clean sheet, but it should be a game that it should be like a 3-1. It should be that Haaland goes out there, like you were saying, and he's on cloud 9 signing his contract. The players around him should be feeling that as well. And he should be out there scoring a hat trick. That's how it should feel. That's the way it should be. I'm not saying it's going to be, because you're right. I think it's going to be tricky. I don't think it's going to be easy as that. But that's what we should expect in a lot of respects from this team, that they are better than Ipswich, really. When they're all firing fit and when they're all on their game, this is a game where we should be coming out with 3 points.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm just looking at Ipswich now, by the way, I'm just setting it up. Just so we know, we're not going to do our normal outro tonight. We are just going to do our thing for the late, great Denis Law. Just going through some of the results lately. They did beat Bristol Rovers in the Cup. They drew at Fulham away 2-each. They got beat by in their last fixture, they get beat by Brighton and Hove Albion at home. Their last win within the Premier League came in a 2-0 win at home to Chelsea. Now, obviously, Chelsea are in a bad bit of form. Liam Delap is doing very, very well for them, I will say. But I do think, cheers, mate. Don't worry about it. I know you're very, very busy. Give it over to Not In My Lifetime Pod. Show them a lot of love as well. They're on a journey to 1K. I put £10 on Man City to lose, finish outside the top 4, mate. Jolly good. If you want to lose your money. Haven't seen a Haaland hat-trick in ages. Well, there you go. Fab tweet. What's he put? Oh, what's he put? So I'm more than happy with it. I'm more than happy with everything. What's he put here? Breaking. What? What's he put here? Someone's saying it was there.
Is it about the final package for Mamouche? Because it was only posted. It was only posted about 5-6 minutes ago.
Yeah. Can you find it? I can't find it.
I can't. I mean, I don't have X, but
I've got it now. I've got it now. Final package, Shamana Mamouche will be worth 80 million add-ons as planned. He said goodbye to the Eintracht fans. And if nobody believes me, I will get this up. So I will get you the link. This was apparently, as far as I'm aware, now tell me if I'm wrong, I'm sure this is him saying goodbye to the Eintracht fans. There you go. So there you go.
Pretty legit.
He's off. He's a going. So yeah, no, I'm really. I think it'll be hard. I think it'll be a very, very hard game against Ipswich Town, especially at Portman Road. The game was a difficult game. They scored first, if you remember, at the Etihad earlier on in the season. They went 1 up.
Well, I remember that game because Liam Delap was trying to injure our entire backline.
Yeah, he was. He was. I'll give him that.
And given since then, that's the last thing I need in this game.
No, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I do think I'm not going to do starting 11s. I do think it'll be a tough game. I do think City will come out winners. I'm not bothered about the result. I'm really not. I know people are getting really ate up by wanting to win 5-0. Right now, this is about just getting that winning feeling back. We can go 5-6 games unbeaten, then great. Let's get that unbeaten feeling. Then we move on. Then we get the new players in, and then we get a rolling. Because listen, bringing in a few players are not just going to change all our problems overnight. Mark, take care, mate. Legend, take care, brother. If you need me, you know where we are. Things aren't going to change overnight. This is going to take a few weeks to get everything back into motion. You know, hopefully we have Mamouche, etc. for PSG. We'll see where we go. And then we're going to Club Bruges. Got a big week in Champions League. We've got a big week in the Premier League. But I'm more than confident we can get over the line. I don't even care if it's by the odd goal. I do not care. Let's just get it done. I'm one of these at the moment. My performance is the less thing than I am. I'm more about getting the W than I am about playing sexy football, because we're not in a position to be playing sexy football right now. We're in a position where the result matters more than playing the performance. That's just me, though.
Yeah, no, I agree. In mine.
I think it's win. It's almost win at all costs at the moment.
Yeah.
Max,
Max,
how many of 5K now? Well, we are going to end now because I'm going to go and spend an hour with my other half. We are 44 away. Someone's unsubscribed since we've done it, which is always nice. Someone has unsubscribed. But don't worry, we'll get there. If not, we'll get there over the next week. I'm sure we will. We're so close now. But I want to say a massive thank you to Ozzy, Rich and Pat for joining us. You are legends.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Ozzy.
And hopefully we'll see you all on Sunday for the post-match. Ipswich on Sunday evening. City Luke TV was live earlier. Got a meeting with Tone next week to maybe start something. Keep an eye out. So, yeah. Lots coming on the Mancunian way. By the way, bite your dick off. Please get in touch. That's not euphemism. He is one of our channel members who won the competition last night. So get in touch. We'll go through it. If you are going to Ipswich on Sunday, stay safe. Safe travels down. It's a long journey. Look after yourselves. You're not going to be back till middle of the night. A long way down to East Anglia. For the Blues going to Paris over on during the week, safe trip over there. I know there's a City Luke's going over, Not in My Lifetime pod. Big Steve's going over. Big Steve has started a new channel with Daps. The South, we had a South stand. I have been asked to go on, which can't wait to be an honour to go on that. So yeah, lots of exciting things to move forward with within the City community, but let's stay strong. Let's stay as one. Let's not backbite each other. Haaland staying 10 more years. Haaland staying 10 more years. Anyway, no, Aussie's like 20 minutes behind everyone. But anyway, no. No, honestly, thank you all for joining us. Ryan, Jack, everyone, you are all amazing. There has been over 400 of you in here tonight. Thank you so much. We've had over 2,000 people in here tonight, which is just outstanding. You've actually smashed through the Haaland news from earlier on. So big up to you all. Over 2,000 views. Keep smashing it. We'll get there when we can. This is a family. This is a community. Are you in the South Stand? No, I'm not. I'm in the North Stand, Harry. And I'm going to try and move over to the South Stand. But we are going to remove all ourselves now. We're not going to do the normal outro. We are just going to put a couple of pictures up for the late, great Mancunian football legend, the Scotsman himself, the late, great Denis Law. Don't forget, there's 2 City players gone this week. Tony Buck, Skip, and now Denis Law. It was a City and United legend. Pure gentlemen. Really nice people. And we're sad and they will be missed. And yeah, I'm just going to remove all of us. We'll say goodnight and we'll leave you with the images of the late, great Denis Law. Good night, all.